Hello, my YouTube world. This is Johnny Mow. I just got done. It's Saturday. It is, I don't even know what time it is. It's probably about, I think, 3:30. I'm going to do a little question and answer here, but I wanted to come right in. I have to admit to you, this is probably one of the hardest weeks I've had in business. I had every piece of machinery go down to the point where it was just ridiculous, losing 3-4 hours a day. And just got backed up. I only got one landscape done the whole week. Did finally get all my mowing done. This is part of the business. I mean, I'm not going to give you all the roses, but I can tell you that it's 3:30. My shirt is drenched. My face is filthy. I haven't shaved. And I'm going to go up, take a shower, and I'm going to put all this business behind me, because the next time I want to think about anything is Monday morning. I got to tell you, it was a rough week. But I want to answer some questions and answers. I'm going to address Mick Hippie. I'm going to answer your question, Mick, but you're always messing with me about my numbers. I don't know why. I don't see you anywhere else on YouTube messing with people, but you like to mess with me. But because of the man I am, and I think the best of everybody, I'm going to go ahead and answer these questions just for you. I think you're messing with me, though. And if you are, then shame on you, because you're wasting my time. But if you're not, I am going to answer your question. Like I said before, these are calendars. This is just one I just pulled out. This is from 2009. In these calendar blocks is how I track numbers, my mowing numbers. The reason why that's part of high efficiency mowing is because what I do every day, I print out a sheet out off of my gopher. I have all my lawns all scheduled Monday through Friday. I have a Monday through Friday list. Tuesday's a little bit lighter to make up for rain days. So what we do is we print out a list. Now when I get to a lawn, it's time in, time out. At the end of the day, what I do for my mowing, I have a different program that I use for landscaping, my landscaping numbers, just because I like to keep things a little bit separate. And at the end of the year, I can group together my landscapings for next year to see around the time factor that I've done my landscaping. So it's a completely different program. All right, now back to the numbers. Now, I take these blocks, and at the end of the day, every day, what I do is I add up my gross numbers. These are my gross numbers, okay? And then I divide it by the hours worked. My hours are from the first job until I arrive home. So all the drive time is in there. I don't start when I leave the driveway, because you have to drive to your job. So I'm driving to my first job. And then the last job, when I take off, I'll split the time on the way home. I'll just average it up 15 minutes, like 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, or so. I round up no matter what I do. All right, now having said that, I want to try to be very clear and concise in this, because this is one of the most important factors. Time in, time out. So every lawn has a time in, time out. At the end of the day, I put that time in my blocked calendars. And what happens is, I've gone back, I think 2007 is when I started the block calendars. And that's when I really started to run numbers and really start to see what I was making per hour. I did it all the way back in 99, but the problem was I didn't do it on a daily, I did it on a monthly. So I knew what I was making at the end of the week, but you know, I just chose to do it weekly and then followed up monthly. Now I do it daily, followed up weekly, and now I have a program that I should probably show you guys. I invented a program on Excel that kind of, you know, like tonight, when everyone goes to sleep, I'll come down here and I'll run all the numbers for the week. I'll put them in that program, and that goes all the way back to when I first started the business. And so that's how I keep my numbers. So this was a two-man crew. Back in 2012 was the question. These were gross numbers, but just for you, Mick Hippie, I went back and took a look. My average dollar per hour back then was about 98 bucks. Okay. It cost $67 at that time to run my business. It's a little bit cheaper now, only because I don't have my foreman and I don't have everything I had back then. I was running pretty strong. And what we were doing is, it would be me and my foreman in the truck. We'd split up. He'd go one way with a Z, I'd go the other way with the Z, weed whacker, blower, and boom, 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 boom. and we would just knock out a development. And that's part of high efficiency mowing with a crew. And I'll get out there, and we're going to map out lawns next week. We might talk about something else, about, you know, equipment. We're going to talk about a few things, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to go on the next one. But I want to answer these questions. So it was about $67 an hour was the cost of my business back then. That was with all of my insurance. And now listen, I do things a little bit differently. When I say $67 an hour, I mean that's my house bills too. I'm talking, that's my electric bill, that's my water bill, because, you know, most accountants just want to know what it costs to run your business. I need to know what it costs to run my house, because this is what pays for my house. So all of that's in there. So it cost me about $67 an hour. I was running around 98. Some days, a lot of those days, as you've seen, we were like 124, 115. We had a few days we were like 89, but that was the numbers that we were running. So I was definitely clicking the 30% profit margin that I refer to constantly in this business. And that's the secret, guys. That's the secret to winning at mowing, is taking it to 30%. When you're bigger crews and you've got multiple trucks, you're probably going to drop down to the 20%, 17 to 20%. But I run a really tight ship. I've always preached numbers, 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 numbers. So, having said that, 30% was definitely in there. We were nailing 35% at times. So we did well. We were doing well. It just got too taxing. It was too hard. It was always running. It was very hard on the equipment. And those are some big, big bills that we were putting out. So having said that, that's for you, McHippie. And I hope that answers your question. And I hope that you know, I don't see you messing with anyone else about numbers. I don't know why you mess with me so much. Maybe you like me. I don't know. I hope that you're joking around. I hope that you're actually generally interested, but that's how I run it. I can't tell you about how you run things over there in Australia. I don't know your economy, but we could never pay anybody $25 an hour, make any money at lawn mowing. So, you know, at that time, I think my foreman was making $12.50 or $13 an hour, and that was with me in the truck, 2 very experienced mowers, just banging 2 Z's, 60s, 61 inches. One was a Ferris, one was a Snapper Pro, and we were going at it pretty hard. So we knew what we were doing. We knew, you know, everything. As soon as we pulled up, we knew which one was going where. It was just, it was phenomenal. And that's where you got to get it to. You'll never get it there, and you'll never pull the numbers you need to pull until you start clocking your dollar per hour like I do in these books. And that's part of high efficiency mowing. So, having said that, the questions that I've got, those are gross numbers. But again, at that time, when I look back, it was $67 an hour to run the company. And so we were making 30. I was personally putting in the bank $30 an hour, which is excellent for mowing. And that does not count landscaping. Like I said before, we separate the two only because of a different program, but we do very well. And it's a lot of hard work. And I want to see you guys get to the point where you're making money. And the secret to this industry, if you're going to be in it for the long haul, is if you can, you know, calculate exactly your 30% profit margin and then collect that and over years. Now, I'm going to stress this again. I've said this in other videos. This is not brain surgery, okay? This is, if you do $50,000 a year, you collect 30% profit, which if you're solo, you can go a lot further. You should be able to put $15,000 cash, cold, hard cash in your bank account at the end of the year. After 5 years, 15 times 5 is 25. That's $70,000 in your bank account. And trust me, guys, when I tell you, there is not a lot of people in business, even the larger company, that can even write you a check for $100,000. You know, I know a lot of a lot of big businesses, they live on credit. They front everything on their line of credit, and then they get behind, they never get caught up. I'm teaching you from the ground up. You don't need to make $500,000. You don't need to make $300,000. I'm telling you, within 5 years, if you'll do what I'm telling you to do, and you'll hit the 30% profit margin, you can have 70 grand in the bank. And trust me, I do a lot of work for people I don't think even have that type of cash flow in the bank. Now let's jump it up a notch. Let's go to 100,000. 100,000 times 30, that's 30 grand a year. Times that by 5, that's $150,000. Times that by 10 years, you have $300,000. Now, say you ran up to $200,000. Do you see where I'm going with this, guys? This is what I'm trying to teach you. If you're going to be in business, let's do it right. Let's get it right from the get-go. You young guys, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, I want you to hit the 30% profit margin. I want you to keep diligent about it. I want you to save your money. I don't want you to go, you know, how I try to do my bills is a little bit different. I do some debt only because it's sometimes it's necessary. I'm not going to sit and waste time and save up a whole bunch of money or deplete a bank account or take a lot out of a bank account when I can make a payment at 1.9 or 0% and it's not going to hurt me at 120 to 200 bucks a month and get that amount of work done using that equipment. You see what I'm saying? So there's a little bit to that. You know, you can't go in debt over your head to the point where you can't afford to pay your bills. Again, the mutual fund approach. I don't have any particular client that's into me, you know, for 10% or 15% of my gross. I have a lot of small 60, 100, 400, 35s, a lot of those types of accounts. So I'm really teaching you. That's why I'm taking my time on high efficiency mowing, because this is the secret to being successful in this business. This is the reason why I can do whatever I want. I can leave here right now. I can go out to eat. I don't have to ask my wife, are you sure we have enough in the bank account? I know we have. If I want to go to Hawaii right now, I can get my checkbook out and write a check. If I want to go buy brand new Lexus cash, I can go buy brand new Lexus cash. That's the difference, guys. If you're going to do this, this is hard work. Look at me. I am burnt, sweating, doing a video for you guys because I care about you and I want to see you succeed. I want to see your life better. I don't want to see you divorced. I want to see you and your kids be able to enjoy life. If I want to take the whole softball team out for ice cream, I don't have to check, you know, do we have enough on our credit card? No, I can write it cash. This is the things that I really want to teach you. This is why I'm doing this series. That's why I'm doing questions and answers. That's why I'm clearing up any controversy. You know, a lot of times people say, oh, Johnny, you're lying. If you remember, if you go back, I actually put a state return sales tax, and it was a month that we didn't do a lot of landscaping. It was $19,000 for the month. So if I took 30% of that, that's about $6,000 I stuck in my bank account that month alone. Do you see what I'm saying? It's about numbers. I'm not trying to be $1 million company. I'm just trying to make my money and over the long haul be able to really turn in the dollars. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope that you are. This is Johnny Mow. This is question and answer, specifically for Mick because he keeps messing with me. I'm pointing at you, Mick. I'm over here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I'm pointing at you in Australia. You better stop messing with me. That boy Mick Hippie, baby! You know what's coming on Monday. I can't wait for Motivational Monday. To be honest with you, I'm going to have to watch that Motivational Monday myself because it was a rough week. I'm glad it's over. It's about 3:45, and I'm telling you right now, the business, hats off, shut it down. I will not answer a call. I won't even think about it. It's family time, baby. You know how we run. We take our day. You know why? Because we're sharpening that axe, baby, so we can keep swinging, so we can keep going. Woo! You know what I'm talking about. Have a good one, guys.